Good evening. I'm Dr. Vijay Jain, and I welcome you in this show, Winner's Mindset, a Key to Success. We all know that winner's mindset is very important to succeed in life, to do things in the best way. Of course, qualification, skills, and everything else matters. But on the top of that, mindset matters a lot. And that is the reason so many toppers and other people fail to achieve what they deserve to do. And the backbenchers or other people thrive because they have the better mindset. So depending on the mindset, you are going to make big or make small. There are so many things that make up the mind. Of course, the conditioning starts from the childhood. In which environment you brought up, your parents, neighbors, schools, these all surroundings contribute in making the mindset. But it can be changed. You can change your mindset at any stage whenever you decide to do that. Today's guest have joined. Today's guest is Neha Mehta. Welcome, Neha. I'm very happy to see you here. Let me tell you about Neha. Neha, would you like to describe yourself or do you want me to tell? I think it would be better. Audience would love to hear from you. So I'm changing it. Please do.
Okay. So to begin with, I come from a Gujarati community. My father's name is interestingly Mr. Harshad Mehta, and so yeah, I come from a business family. I have been born and raised in Mumbai, and as far as my educational background is concerned, I am a BA in sociology from Mirabai College. Then I pursued HR, my post-graduation in HR. And then eventually I also did my doctorate in training and development. What I do currently, I am into mind mentoring. The subject really has always fascinated me a lot, right from the time I was a child, actually. But obviously, as a child, it is said that, it is just curiosity. But curiosity about the mind is something that I've always been very fascinated about. How people think, how people behave. Over a period of time, serendipity that I got into sociology, HR, human resource development, and training and development in such a way that human behavior became a part of my subject. So that's I think that's more or less about me.
So much. Right? You have achieved so much, different field, different experiences. So interesting. So moving ahead, Neha, my audience would like to know something interesting about you that most of the world not aware of.
I think something that most of the people would not know is I do a lot of self-talk. A lot of self-talk. I constantly talk to myself. Obviously, apart from the time that I keep aside for working and stuff like that, I constantly check what can go right, what can go wrong, and I constantly talk, and I literally talk loudly, loudly in a way that not like very loudly, but I constantly blabber whatever is going on in my mind. Every time I get some time off, every time I am completely left to myself, it's not just that I overthink, I actually talk to myself. Even from a third person perspective, that what if I was not in this place and what if I was in somebody else's place? Would I still look at this situation in the same way? And though I don't sometimes get answers, but I constantly do that.
I love that. We all do self-talk, and of course, yeah. Self-talk make help a lot in shaping the mindset. If you are doing positive self-talk, it is going to make a huge positive difference. On the other hand, if someone is making negative self-talk, he is going to, I think the God is going to help that person. Self-talk is very, very important. And as you mentioned, as a third person, we should watch how we are doing that self-talk. whether the self-talk is going in the direction of positive direction or in the negative direction.
Sure.
So I think, and I think we interacted for the first time around a year back. At that time, we also discussed on this aspect of self-talk, how self-talk is going to shape our day entirely, and how it is going to help in relations, etc. So good to know about that. Neha, this show is winner's mindset.
Yes.
So what do you think about the winner's mindset?
I think I have basically three things that I can say about what winner's mindset means to me. One is everybody makes choices, but what choices we make apparently builds our character. So the first thing that I personally feel is watch your choices, whatever decisions you make. So I personally have done that. I have terribly, made some bad choices. And I always felt that, I learned a lot of things the hard way. So I would never want anybody to go through that, because it is very, very difficult to bring that sanity back into your life. If you ever get it, you are very lucky. But if you made a bad choice, it can actually have very bad repercussions. So choices. The second thing is most of the people understand that there are times when you have to say yes to some things, and there are times when you have to say no to some things. But the very crucial thing is when. When can you say yes? When can you say no? The timing of your life. There are a lot of things we apparently encounter every day. But then it is that timing that matters. That, okay, maybe this was not the right time to say yes to something. This was the right time to say no to something. So I think that. And the third is the kind of company you keep. What sort of people are you engaging with? What kind of networking you are into? Who are you dealing with? What are they teaching you? What are you teaching them? So yeah, these three things, I think if one takes a very close look at these things of your life, I think that can build a winner's mindset.
Of course, your experiences is telling all that. Your wisdom is speaking. Of course, fellow. I have noted some good quotes of winner's mindset, and let me tell you, winners never give up, never accept defeat, and work for as long and as hard as it takes to get the job done right. Winners usually say, "Don't tell I can't do. Just tell me how I can do it." If you have winner's mindset, take massive action and never give up. Winners make the effort while losers make excuses. Winning attitude allows you to work on the things you can control, not on the things you can't control. Moving ahead. What are the best moment of your life? We all love best moments, of course. There must be many moments that you enjoyed, but what is the best moment that you cherish?
I think there was this moment. Apparently, it is also about the timing of my life. So I shared this story with almost everyone I come across, and it's a very personal story. So like any other individual, after completing my graduation, I wanted to get into MBA because all my batchmates were getting into MBA at that point of time. I'm nearly talking about 2 decades ago. So I, as any other individual, I got into so many MBA, the GDPI sessions, and every time I came out of the group discussion and personal interview, the results were I would be rejected. I would be completely rejected to even get an admission in an MBA college as a student. This is not even that I'm giving an interview for a job. So I applied for 7 or 8 odd colleges. And then there was a last stroke that I decided to have. I went to a college and I gave my interview. I didn't get selected as usual. I was so disappointed that it is so difficult for me to get an admission into a college which is so disastrous about me. I almost gave up on me also and myself. But then I decided it's better not to get so disappointed with everything that you go through. So I decided to quit doing MBA at that point of time. I said, no, I don't want to do MBA. Let me start working. Let me understand how life turns out. 15 to 16 years down the line, the last college that I went for calls up. The dean of that college calls up and says, Dr. Mehta, would you like to come to our college? We want to offer you a position of a faculty for our students. I was so surprised. I was so astonished. And I completely believed at that moment that it is all about faith. It is all about the timing. Maybe God at that time didn't want me to take admission as a student in that college because I was meant to be a faculty there. So I told him, when I met him, it was so nostalgic to climb the same stairs, same campus, going through the same thing 15 years down the line, but this time as a faculty. So I told him that, sir, do you remember so-and-so batch, maybe 2001, 2002? He said, no, why? There was a student called Neha Mehta. You rejected her to be a student in your college. Today you are offering her a faculty position. It was so historical. He was so surprised. He said, I don't know what to say, but maybe timing. Yeah. So I think that was one of the best moments ever in my life.
And maybe you know the name of the college? If you think
no, I would not like to.
Okay, no, sure. Coming to the surprise you mentioned, was it the most surprising moment of your life, or there are other moments?
It was surreal. It was not even surprising. It was very surreal. I could not believe it is real. I had to pinch myself. I had to talk to my mother. I had to tell my mom. And mom, she didn't remember that, oh, you must have applied to so many colleges. I don't remember what colleges you applied. I said, see, this is the college who's offering me a faculty position. So she said, yeah, then take it. She was very casual. She was like, no, maybe they saw your caliber now. And there is a huge possibility that maybe as a student, I was not that confident. Maybe I did not have that clarity today that I have, So they didn't see, it didn't come across. So it is so important that with time you evolve.
Yes.
Maybe at that time I was naive. I didn't know how to present myself. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know the power of networking, the power of presenting yourself in a certain way. So, yeah.
Again, coming to surprises, nature used to give us surprises, or rather you can say universe used to give us surprises. That was one of the surprises. Had you any surprise in last month or the last year or something in near future?
Oh, yes. The biggest surprise I ever felt from myself is the fact that I could actually start something on my own. I have always been on jobs. Always. In fact, I have worked almost non-stop for 18 years. Never taken a break. In fact, I did my studies in terms of my master's, my doctorate. Everything was distance learning in a way that I attended college also. I attended my office also. I've never taken a break. So I studied also along with my work. So I never thought that I could do something completely on my own, where where I was afraid that every first of the month, there is a message that comes, certain amount is credited into your bank account, and that will never come. So I was very scared actually that how will I survive? But touch wood, with God's grace, I surprised myself like anything. I surprised myself like anything because I didn't put an emphasis on the power of personal branding. The moment you know that you can offer something to some people, it is your personal brand, the value contribution. And if you're very clear about your intentions, about the conviction you have, and about the contributions you want to make, nobody and nothing can stop you. And that is what I got completely surprised by. I didn't know I could do it. I really didn't know I could do it. Till if you remember, as you said, about a year back, when I met you and I had to ask you, what should I do? I don't know what to do. I felt confused. Should I do this? Should I not do this? About my networking, my equations, my relationship. I had started questioning everything. the support from my family. I didn't know whether they would be okay with this because they've always seen me working. So I didn't know if they would be okay if I started something on my own. But with God's grace, I think I surprised myself.
Do you know which you surprised me? When you approached me 1 year back for coaching, and when we had around 8 to 10 discussions, you never mentioned. But when few months back, you told me that you want to do mind mentoring with me, I was surprised. I was clean bold actually, and of course I enjoyed that because you, opened my life in front of me the way I could not. In those 3 sessions, I got an insight what I have been doing, what are you doing, how are you doing. I never thought in that perspective. So really, you surprised me. And that was the, I think, great surprise that I enjoyed and that I'm going to cherish for my entire life.
But I'm so glad that you were so receptive. You did not even blink an eye before saying a yes to me. Here I was the person you were coaching. And when I asked you if I could mentor you in terms of what I have in my mind, you were so receptive about it. You said, yeah, why not? And that is a spirit I feel will change the world. It can really change the world. I think all it requires is a very, very attitude towards learning. Everybody should be open to that. I personally feel if we create a world like that, 90% of the battle is won.
Yes, I agree on that.
Yeah. So I was so happy that you agreed. I was a little reluctant to ask you, but I was so happy you agreed, and I thoroughly enjoyed, sharing all the insights that I had developed, that I had designed. I thoroughly felt so comfortable with you, asking you questions, that most coaches would perhaps not want to do, because you were very receptive. You were so comfortable. You made me comfortable about the fact that it's okay, you are doing your job, let me do mine. You gave me that power. You gave me that conviction that no, forget about who I am, forget about what I could do to you or what you could do to me. Just go with the flow and be professional. And it opened so many dimensions to my life. Thank you so much for that.
And I'm grateful that you asked, because otherwise I would have, I could not experience that experience. I think that was an amazing experience.
Equally grateful.
I have undergone coaching from so many coaches internationally, because in this pandemic, I think around 10 coaches I have taken coaching in different dimensions. But that the way you have done things, that mind mentoring, of course, that was marvelous thing. That's unique that I haven't experienced in my around 5 years of coaching practice.
Thank you so much, sir.
And you have very good prospect.
Thank you.
And
Sir. So
you can. Thank you so much. Okay, coming to learning. You started with that HR, you have done in that field, now mind mentoring. So how you maintain that learning and how you keep yourself on the top of the things?
I think the biggest perspective that I developed about learning is to actually feel very uncertain. You have to feel very certain about uncertainty in life, how you look at things. Today it is there, tomorrow it may not be there. So are you going to fumble? Is it going to make you anxious? Is it going to make you feel disappointed? Are you going to feel completely depressed that I worked so hard and today I'm not getting the result of it? You never know. So I think the first thing I learned is a perception of reality. My reality could be very different to yours, and that is a learning. That in itself is very big learning. So I constantly do that. As I said, my self-talk is almost in that direction. What is my reality today? Perhaps that is not going to be my reality tomorrow. I may be a completely different person, but do I want to avoid it? Do I want to address it, or do I want to embrace it? And that's what keeps me going.
And that's what I call winner's mindset. Yeah, as you mentioned that your phase when you could not take admission in college, etc. So what other challenges you had in your life?
one of the biggest actually, so this is very personal actually, but one of the biggest challenges while I was growing up, right from the time I graduated, is my own acceptance of myself. I think I could not accept the way I was. I always felt that I've had, if you remember, even while I met you about a year ago, I still had the same issues that I'm not good with equations. I'm not good with relationships. Why is this happening to me? Why would people not want to accept me? But they will not accept me because I have not accepted myself. I did not understand this very simple thing. So I think that was very challenging for me to completely accept myself first before getting into expectations of others accepting me. It is very easy to say that accept me the way I am. It's very easy to say to my bosses, to my colleagues, to my friendships, to my equations, to my networks, that okay, accept me the way I am. This is who I am. No, I mean it's easier said than done. But have you accepted yourself? Do you know what are your strengths? Do you know what are your challenges? And if at all you know, what are you doing about it? I knew that these are certain challenges, but I was doing nothing about it. I was absolutely doing nothing about it till I went through some coaches from from you, from other influencers in my life. I went back in time and actually jotted down everything that I was doing wrong. And that's when I got a very, very, very huge insight to what made me who I am today. So not that I'm very successful at all, even today, I still learn, but maybe I lost the touch, the flavor of learning, because I started questioning everything that I was getting into. I kind of got into the fact that if I get into this, will I do good? Do I have the capability? Do I think myself good enough for this? I always questioned, but I never answered. And that was my biggest learning. That's how I coped up with things. I started answering instead of only questioning. Questioning is very good, but you also need answers. So that was my challenge.
I will come to influencer next, but first I would like to know, what is your relation now with child Neha?
My relation with the child Neha. Oh,
we all have inner child. We all have a child within us, or inner child, whatever you name it. What is your relation now? Because as you mentioned that in the early phases of childhood, it was difficult for you to accept yourself. What do you think now?
I think earlier, actually, ironically, I was very compassionate towards the inner child. Precisely why it just got pampered. And that's why it made mistakes what it did. But now I am very disciplined with the child. Now I know what the child wants. And now at any point of time, if the child is asking for unreasonable demands, it's a big no. It's a big no. So I literally tell myself, no, this is not happening. You are going completely in a different direction. This is not meant for you. Yes, today you might find it very difficult to control your urges. Yes, it is difficult to hear a no, but today the experience is talking. So listen to the one who has experienced. It's the same thing. I went through hardships. I had to learn everything the hard way. So now when my inner child comes up and says, you know what, I want to take leeway, I want to cheat. And I said, no, you can't. You learned it the hard way. Now don't go the hard way. Make it easy for yourself. So I do that. I have a very healthy relationship.
And have you healed the wounds of the child?
I think
healing is very important. So have you healed the wounds of the child?
I think help, yes. I'm completely in the process of healing.
Very good.
But I have helped myself a lot. Because the only thing I realized over a period of time is there is nobody who can help you but yourself. Initially, you have to understand that even when you seek out, even when you reach out to your mentors, even when you seek help, you have to have a mindset that I want to be helped. If that does not come about, then you will not be receptive to people who are helping you. So yeah,
Fully
I'm definitely in the process of healing for sure.
very good. You will. Coming back to the influencer, who are the 3 influencers in your life who have helped you shape the way you are now?
Oh yeah,
If you want to share.
sure. There are, I would say, there are 2 people.
Yeah.
But the third is a very general aspect of my life. So I'd like to go for all of them. First is my father, very big influence in my life, extremely huge. Ironically, I had a very less communicative relationship with him because he was a man of few words. He would not say much, but his actions would deliver so much about his learning, about his struggles, about his challenges, that all we had to do is just see the way he functions and learn. So I have been highly influenced by him. And the second is one of the bosses that I had. I think he was a marvelous person. He did not have to please people. He would just conduct himself in such a way that I think out of 100%, 95% of the people would just fall in love with him. I mean, just the way he conducted himself, just the way he communicated, just the way he handled certain crisis situation. He did not have to please anybody, but the way people would actually land up being pleased by his actions, by his behavior, by his conduct. Oh my God, it is unbelievable how he conducted himself. So I think highly influenced by him. And I learned a lot from him. He was very, very genuine. He was very helpful. And I think his mind was, if I have to really understand from the mind mentoring perspective, he was a thorough mentor. He was a thorough professional. And I think he had a mind of a genius. Super. And the third thing where I get completely influenced is surprisingly by observing kids. Children function in a way that I think nobody can imagine. One day they are this, the other day they are that. And that's what makes them superhumans, I feel. Only by observing them, by observing their curiosity, by the way they sometimes play with certain things, can completely blow off anybody's mind if you have a perception to observe them in that direction. So I think I'm very fond of kids. To that extent, I learn so much from them, with the way they think, with the way they want to play certain toys in a certain way, with the way they want to organize their room, with the way they want to behave in a certain way. To some people, they're so subjective when it comes to dealing with people also. In fact, I find them a lot more clear than even adults. They know what they want to eat. They know what they want to wear. They know what they want to go. They know this is the time I want to cry. This is the time I want to be stubborn. This is the time I want to feel happy, joyful. They know that my mother is going to be strict to me, but my father will sometimes help me. They know that, okay, in this, sometimes my father will be strict, but here my mother can help me. Yes, they're so very well versed with certain manipulations. And if you observe them, they're so smart. They're so smart. It can blow off your mind. So yeah, the third and a very important aspect of my life where I completely get blown off is by kids.
I loved your third one. Actually, I also do that. And you believe me, this is the most underutilized learning. You can
Absolutely.
say. And, in becoming the adult or being the adult, we forgot to learn from the kids.
Absolutely.
They offer so much learning.
They do.
And of course, because we are on that track, in addition to the kids, I also learn a lot from that words, animals, etc. I have a pet, German Shepherd. I learn a lot from.
Absolutely.
I think we all have pet because they tell us so many things. They understand your mood. They come to you. I
Yes.
think in my crisis time, stress time, my dog has helped me much, much better than that of my wife or kids.
Oh, absolutely. I think I completely buy that. You know, when I do sometimes actually check those videos where people apparently upload it with their pets and how they interact with them. And it is so fascinating that just by not speaking anything, the fact that animals don't have words, they don't speak, they express so much through their body language. And they actually express compassion, empathy, love, warmth
Yes,
so much that even humans can't reach that level.
definitely. And without any bias.
No judgments, no bias. It's like you have fought with your pet
Yes,
in the morning. In the evening, they are still going to be around you. They still are going to be very joyful. They're still going to wait for you till the time you come. They're still
yes,
going to wag their tail every time they see you and feel happy about the fact that you are with them. They are so grateful that you are with them, and I think that that is something we humans have completely lost touch with.
yes, yes.
And yeah, I buy that. I completely buy that.
And I also learned from birds. So in my personal life, I
Yeah.
used to, because I'm a nature lover. So I used to see birds, jungle, etc. So I used to keep watching birds in the alongside the river and trees, etc. And I used to think, man, I will be as free as these birds are. And because of that reason, I left my job at the age of 45. I was a class one gazetted officer of government. I was drawing a good salary, peon, for etc. Was having it, but I was also having the change. So
Mm,
because of these words motivated me to become free,
wow.
and now I'm free. So I think they still tell us a lot, a lot. If
Yeah,
someone is willing to receive things.
absolutely. You've just hit the nail on the head. As I said, you know, perception to reality. So what is we should check what is real for us.
Moving ahead here, uh, I think we all have successes and failures. So there must be some failures in your life. So what is the biggest failure and why it happened and what you learned from it? Three aspects of failure, if you are comfortable to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. In fact, weird you asked that because just today I was discussing with one of my connections, very dear connections. I'm sure she's there also right now watching our show, but she actually gave me an idea, and we were discussing the same thing. That was my first podcast that I ever did. We personally had discussed after the podcast got over. You know, how was it? Was it any good? What is it? Was it any better? And we realized that it was not so good. Not that we miserably failed, but it was not up to the mark. I could have done much better because I had the potential to do better. So my first podcast, I would say, was not at all a success, but it was almost on the verge of failure. So why I failed, I would say, is because I was totally unaware of what I was getting into. Totally unaware. Uh, I took it very lightly, which I shouldn't have done. And uh, the three things which I anyways learned from my life, not just from this failure, is the fact that there are three things I have developed in my life. I call them three I's, not the eyes, but I for ice cream. The first I is intent. Keep your intentions extremely clear. Keep your intentions good. Keep your intentions positive. The moment you have your intentions in good faith, nothing can go wrong. Um, two, the second I, after introspection. Always introspect every time you do something right or wrong. It is not you start asking yourself questions when you think you've gone wrong. Even when you do something right, ask yourself how you managed. That will give you a lot of insights about yourself. So that is introspection. The third I is improvement. Always work on your improvement. As I said, even if you've attained a certain success, still improve. There is always room for improvement. There is nobody who has reached a certain amount of success and still feels, no, I'm done now. No, I personally feel in fact, these are the people who now want to maintain the quality of their performance. And for that, they have to continuously improve. So I have always stuck by this: intention, introspection, improvement.
So good, so good. I think, and the audience, others who are going to listen, going to understand, these three things can make huge difference in anyone's life. So good to hear from you, Neha.
Thank you, sir.
Moving ahead, which book you would like to suggest others to read for a transformation, you can say?
Very ironically, I'm not too fond of books, but, though I write, but I'm not a very voracious reader. But there is one book that I have constantly been reminded of, and I have always heard about it, is The Power of Subconscious Mind.
Very good.
It's a very good book, and I think everybody should read it. It opens a world of opportunities.
I agree with you. I've read that book.
Yes.
Very good about that.
Yes.
Okay. Any movie? I don't know. You live in Mumbai, that's Bollywood. I don't know whether you like Hollywood movie or Hollywood movie. Any movie?
Yes, there is one Bollywood movie that I was very fascinated by, and it almost took my motivation to the next level. And that is a movie called Iqbal. This movie is basically has Shreyas Talpade as a protagonist. He is deaf and dumb, but he wants to be selected in the Indian national cricket team. And how he himself finds a coach, a very normal coach. The coach is being played by Nasiruddin Shah. And how and he's a drunkard by then. By the time he finds him, but he insists that only you can coach me. That too without speaking and without listening. So he has a lot of influence. His father, the fact that he's disabled, does not want him to get into anything of this sorts, because he's obviously, not very finding himself assured that he can do something in life. But how he manages to be extremely successful is a movie in its own. So I think I loved that movie. Everybody should watch that movie. It's a very simplistic movie. There are no songs and no nonsense. I think the movie was, if I'm not mistaken, it was produced by Subhash Ghai and directed by Nagesh Kukunor, if I'm not mistaken. But what a movie. Very simple, very simple dialogues. But the way its simplicity has come out is very inspiring, and I was very motivated after that movie. Very motivated, because it really touched my soul.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm a movie lover and I loved that movie. Of course, Nagesh Kukunor, I don't remember about the Subhash Ghai, but yes, Nagesh Kukunor was involved in that movie and he made the movie.
Yes.
Very good movie and very inspiring movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think the actors were also
Yes. So simple yet so convincing.
So convincing, elegant, very elegant.
Yes.
So it moved me. That one movie that moved me was Iqbal.
Now, what makes you awake at night? There must be something we are passionate about. What makes you awake?
I think my thinking about perception to reality, as I said, I keep saying that. But I constantly think about my perceptions, about what should I look at things, what should I do to look at things differently? So I constantly revisit my thoughts. And I constantly ask, why am I so consistent about a certain thinking? What is making me consistent about my clarity? What should I do to break that pattern sometimes? And if I break that pattern, what will happen to me? And oh yeah, that keeps me sometimes very anxious. So yeah, my goals.
Very good.
My goals. I have a very big goal, but how do I visualize things? what are my vision? And the biggest thing that keeps me awake is my contributions. What should I do to increase every ounce of my quality into my contribution? I just want to increase the quality. I just want to contribute without much, hoo-ha of it. And what can I do to contribute more and more?
So good, Neha.
Yeah.
Coming to goals, it has been said that, of course, you must be telling your coaches or mentees, as to do that once you write your goals, and just see your goals, even for 2 minutes when you wake up in the morning, and of course, if you can do when you go to the bed.
Oh,
So you believe on that, and how it helps?
I think it does. Maybe I am a left brain dominant, so it is very difficult for me to visualize a lot of things. But yes, it is. I think it works. When you close your eyes and start the process of visualizing, it is okay if you don't reach there. It is okay if you can't visualize much. But even if you begin that process, it can open a lot of your receptors. It can open a lot of your thoughtfulness in your mind, which eventually makes you do things what you do.
Yes, I agree with you, because we all are human beings. We make mistakes, we do wrong things, we leave the path, or we stray, you can say. But if we keep on reminding ourselves, if we keep on looking at our goal, we keep on visualizing things, I think we can move ahead forward in the right direction and achieve our targets or goals.
Sure.
So that helps. Okay. What resources have helped you in shaping your journey?
I think the biggest resource is always your mind. So I think my attitude towards learning, though it was a challenge to be there, I earlier did not really, as I said, I had issues with my acceptance. I had issues with my attitude. I had a lot of issues. Sometimes I feel I still have those issues, but yeah, my growth mindset, how I can be resourceful to somebody is the biggest resource I have. So I just want to be grateful, gratitude, thoughtfulness, and what I can contribute. So yeah, all these things have really helped me move ahead in life. What can I do rather than what can I expect? So, yeah.
As you mentioned the last few sentences, I understood that you make use of willpower.
Oh yes.
But I read somewhere that the reservoir of willpower is limited. Yes. And then sometimes it happens that the entire reservoir is depleted, maybe by the noon. So by the evening, we are not able to do the things that we have scheduled. Sure. So in such a scenario, what one should do?
As you rightly said, sometimes it is very important and crucial to pause. Take a pause. It is okay to take a pause, reflect on what is causing you that fatigue and what is causing you to deviate. What are your distractions? Try to keep your distractions minimal, especially with a lot of screen time, with a lot of social media activities. One can avoid distractions. So it is not very difficult to be focused, actually, is what even I realized. I had a lot of distractions in my life too, but then it is all about being very determined about it. And I think the third thing is, every time you feel you want help, seek out, reach out. Please reach out. Whether you feel anxious, anxiety, depression, you're not feeling well, please, even if it is your mother, even if it is the most trusted source you have in life, your friends, your mentors, your guidance, anything, please reach out. It is good to completely have a reality check, but it is also equally important to reach out. Please do that. Do not feel afraid Do not feel ashamed that you will be judged. In fact, it is okay to be judged, because at the end of the day, it is going to help you. And what is going to help you is going to lead you to success. So when you will be successful, these are the same people who will start coming to you who judged you. So yeah.
You are so right, Neha. Actually, the people fail to reach out to ask help, and they just fear that what that person will think, or that are being ashamed or things like that. And this is the, I think, one of the main reasons for so many suicides, depressions, things like that.
Totally.
If people can reach out to other, even as you mentioned, to mother, brother, sister, friend, mentor, coach, teacher, doctor, anyone, I think that can help them to come out of that zone and transfer.
I would also like to extend a few things here.
Yes, please.
This is also one of the challenges actually I had. I think I give a lot of power to my ego, that I don't want to reach out. I'll sort out everything on my own, and that led me to being very anxious. I faced a lot of anxiety issues at one point of time, because I gave this, I put my ego on a pedestal, that no, it's okay. I don't want to seek help, because at the end of the day, they will always, they can always turn around and say, you know what, I helped you reach here. And I didn't want that, but it's okay. In fact, it is good that you helped me, I didn't know how to respond to that. So I got into that. I reached out, I seeked out, you know for a fact, I reached out to you also. In fact, I was one of the first ones to reach out to you when you offered that podium to a lot of us.
Yes.
And I knew it, that I want to be helped. If I can't do it, I can give the power to someone else. It is okay to do that. But today I know how things have shaped up, all thanks to you. So I came across a lot of genuine friends of mine who actually understood what I went through. And the only thing the genuine friends told me, you should have told me, I could have helped you.
Yes.
You should have told me, I could have been there for you. Why didn't you tell me? Why did you go through this alone? It's okay. There is a huge possibility that I couldn't have been there, but one call would have made a difference.
Yes.
I could have calmed you down. I could have helped you understand your strengths. And that made a complete paradigm shift in my attitude. That I do have friends who are very genuine. I came to know who were real.
Yes.
And, who were just there to let me know that, yeah, everything will be all right, don't worry. But even to say that takes courage.
Yes.
So, yeah, I realized that.
But that can save us from so many problems.
Absolutely. Today, I surprised myself of getting into mind mentoring purely because of that. I reached out and I actually started empathizing with all the people who want to reach out. And they're not able to do it just because there could be so many Nehas out there who has so much of ego that, no, I don't want to reach out. I'll figure out on my own. No, don't do that mistake. Trust me, it is important to reach out. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody is going to judge you. It takes courage to reach out. And one of the things you will do by reaching out is actually showing courage, not weakness. And my sincere request to everybody out there, please reach out. It is not about weaknesses. It is absolutely not about weaknesses. Apparently, interestingly, the biggest successful people actually have coaches. They reach out to mentors and coaches purely to remain on track. Purely so that they understand that they are not supposed to get digressed. They are not supposed to invite distractions. It is absolutely fine to reach out, because vulnerability is strength. It is no more a weakness. None of the genuine people are judging you. They are, in fact, are there to help you.
I completely agree with you, Neha. Completely agree. Somewhere I read the quote by, I think, Einstein. The problems cannot be solved from the same level of consciousness from where it is generated.
Absolutely.
And I think this is the region that, as you mentioned, I think every successful person have coach.
Yes.
Bill Gates mentioned in the TED talk that everyone should have a coach. In a TED talk, he mentioned that.
I saw that.
Sachin Tendulkar is the master of the game because of the coach. I think every sports person is where he or she is because of the coach. So whether it's the business or the sports or any field, if you can take help of a coach or a mentor, I think things can change for the better.
Absolutely. And I learned this the hard way again, because while I was starting my career, while I was already in my career, while I was, in between jobs and stuff, I never had a mentor. I never had a mentor. I did not perhaps understand the meaning of mentorship actually at that point of time. I was very naive. And as I said, I had challenged with accepting that, okay, it is okay to reach out. I faced a lot of hardships because of that. Had I been coached as early as in my 20s, I would have been a totally different person by now. But everything happens for a reason.
The same with me. I never had any guide or coach in my life. And that is the reason I wanted to do this thing. Because I know that if I could get that help at that moment, things would have been entirely different.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, Neha. So I think if you were the host and I were the guest, what question would you like to tell yourself? What I missed, I think I could, because of course I'm not the perfect person, so I could not ask everything that I should ask. So what question you would like to ask from yourself?
There are a lot of people, not that I want anybody to ask me that, but there are a lot of people of late I come across and they say that that Neha, you have a lot of clarity. How do you bring that about? Two, you seem to be extremely coming across very strong as an individual, as a person. You come so much so sometimes that people can get intimidated by you. So where do you think you get this strength from? So I think these are some of the questions that I feel one should ask everyone, actually.
Yes.
And everyone, where do you get the strength from? How do you move every day from point A to point B? What motivates you? What inspires you? And also to check on the other side of the story is that where do you think you're lacking? Where do you think you can improve? Where do you think you need some kind of push? Where do you think you're feeling a little more inconsistent or maybe not so confident? What are your fears? What are your challenges? I think if we start, asking these questions to anybody who comes across, even to strangers for that matter. I mean, you could be sitting at the airport or you could be sitting in an airplane, and if at all somebody is willing to strike a conversation with you, why don't you ask all this? You never know what they can come out as answers.
Agreed.
And it can inspire you too, because their answers could actually bring about so much perception within you too.
Yes.
So I think, these are some of the questions I think we should keep in mind.
Yes, I will. So coming back to you, would you like to give answer of that, from where you get that strength?
The fact that I learned everything the hard way, the fact that I cried alone, I did not have anybody, the fact that I felt that I cannot reach out made me actually more stronger in a way. But perhaps that was a wrong way, because I should have reached out. That would have developed that strength that time only. Today, it took me years to develop that strength. But the fact that I did everything independent, everything on my own. The fact that there are times when I completely felt alone, but eventually I realized that no, you have to change the narrative. You're not alone, you're on your own, to feel independent. So the strength comes from there, my perceptions, the way I started perceiving things differently. My strength came from my travel experiences. I'm an avid traveler. As you said, I pretty much relate to when you say you love nature. So I like to be amidst nature, vis-a-vis partying or clubbing or going out and hanging out and stuff like that. I prefer to be amidst nature. I learn a lot. I get a lot of strength. I get a lot of strength. There was, funnily, there was a time when whenever we used to travel, especially up north, there are these river beds, sometimes you can just sit there peacefully.
Yes.
You can understand what's going on in your head just by the sound of the river flowing. So I remember I was not feeling too well internally. Maybe I was feeling a little low. And I sat, once I just broke out from the crowd and I sat at the riverbed, near the riverbed, and I asked the river actually. I actually started asking, when I saw the river flowing, I asked the river, what makes you flow continuously? Why can't you just stop? Don't you get tired? And it flew. The answer was that you need to go with the flow. Yeah. I got my answer. You need to go with the flow. You're not feeling well, accept that you're not feeling well. Go with the flow. It's okay to cry. It's okay to fumble. It's okay to stumble. But go with the flow. Don't feel alone. Tell yourself that you are on your own. You are independent.
Wow. Go with the flow. Great. Yes, Neha, I wanted to ask that question, but I think I could not muster the courage. But now you have given me the courage. You have so much potential. What is stopping you from that level of success where you should be? What is stopping you?
I think nothing stops me. So I think the fact that I've built a narrative one. So another narrative that I build is I'm a human, a constant work in progress. So I got that idea actually from so many quotes that I keep reading. And also the fact that sometimes when you're on an under construction road, they say work in progress, go slow.
Yes, you mentioned that.
There is work in progress. They never say that there is work going on, or there is some kind of construction. There are rocks. There are stuff. No, they say work in progress. And once I apparently landed up reading a quote: "You are a human. You are a work in progress." So don't think you know everything. The fact that you keep in mind that every day you are a work in progress, one day you will reach that progress. And again, once you reach that progress, you are a work in progress.
Wow.
So I think I do not believe in a dais of success. I do not believe in a stage. I do not believe in a podium of success. I believe you are successful every day.
Yes.
As long as you are consistent. And as I said, as long as you have good intentions, as long as you have a very good attitude towards learning, as long as you're dealing with good people, you make your choices, make good choices, and at the end of the day, you have a peaceful sleep. The day I have peaceful sleep, I am successful.
Yeah, great. I think that's again the winner's mindset.
Yes.
Wow. You're so clearly. Neha, you have got so much to help others. So can you share your, the Facebook, Insta, or where people can reach out to you?
I am most active on LinkedIn, actually.
Okay.
So I do have my LinkedIn account.
So can you share?
Yeah, I unfortunately not memorized my LinkedIn account, but I think it is Neha Mehta 3110. Is it okay if I share it on the chat?
Yes, I think it would be better.
Okay. So I I can share it on the chat. It's just here. Yeah, linkedin.com/IN, I think it would be for India, /Neha
Yeah.
Mehta 3110.
That's good. That's good.
So I will just put it across in the chat. Yeah.
Very good. So to summarize, what advice would you like to give to the audience to absorb?
I think I pretty much gave it my 3 eyes that I've developed.
Yes.
That I feel is extremely important because it helped me build the personal brand that I wanted to. And yes, I think so. The next immediate step is to build your personal brand. Be very clear about who you are. It is not important to be clear about who other people are. Read your own mind. Don't read other people's mind. Spend time reading your own. By the time you are done with reading your own, you're almost dead. So you have no time reading other people's mind. And trust me, you get more and more and more powerful when you start reading your own. So I think that is one. Always trust that your mind has a capacity that you can't even think of. Unimaginable capacity to make you successful. Always have faith in yourself. So yeah, I think these are some.
Wow. I think that's a treasure, in fact, for anyone who want to gain clarity, gain strength, and go and make out each day the best day of their life. Thank you so much, Neha, for being here. I myself got a lot from you, and of course the audience would have got. And I would love to see you maybe in a couple of months again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me, sir. It's always an honor to be with you, to understand your learnings. I don't think as a coach I've ever come across somebody so humble, somebody so down to earth. I need to learn that from you. I'm not humble so far. But I personally think you are amazing. And please continue to do what you do.
Thanks so much.
Enlighten us with these podcasts.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, audience. Have a great good night and great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.